It's very, very bright here. Everything is soft and there's a lot of beings, but they don't have forms like we have here. They are very loving. They're very loving.
And what kind of place is this?
It's a place of, really it's not of this realm that we know of. It's a different dimension where everything is sparkling, clear. There's a lot of different colors that we don't see on Earth.
Tell me, what are you seeing?
It's almost, it's magical. It's like you can create anything you want to create without any effort or any time. But when you create, it's out of love. And when you create, it's for all of existence. It isn't something you do for yourself, and it is. It's all affecting everything. Everything is in harmony and in balance. It's in balance. It's balanced.
Tell me, what do you create?
Whatever needs at that moment, whatever comes. There isn't a past or a future. It's just the moment. Whatever the moment wants.
What does the moment want now? What are you creating now?
I'm creating a very beautiful scene where there is many beautiful beings who are singing very in high vibration. It is so calming. It is to help the earth. We see the earth and we see how much it needs love. We send love through music, through a vibration that we hear, but those on earth cannot hear through their ears. It does a little bit of confusion for those on earth. They do not know what is happening, but eventually they will become calmer and calmer. But because of so much change going on earth, it's hard for people to relax. So we bring this music to them and to relax them. But they haven't quite received the relaxation that we wish them to receive. We understand. They're going through a situation they're not aware of. That is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, event on Earth's existence.
What is this event from your perspective?
The event that is going on Earth is a purification of seeing what love really is, and then seeing love as it really is. There is this desire to love in such a way that you're in harmony with existence and not moving out of fear of who is next to you or what is next to you, but you're in love with that which is next to you, whether it be a person or whether it be an animal. Eventually, the earth will feel a peace so that everything is in harmony. The trees will be healthy. The animals will not be something to be afraid of or to be abused, but you will respect all of life, whatever form it takes. So there's a great purification.
Purification.
Of letting go of fear. But it's a process that will take some time. So we keep sending this very balanced music, hoping that it will bring a new awareness. But we understand it will be a very uncomfortable time.
What should people do during this discomfort?
It is important that people really recognize their own true beingness. It's a process, but loving oneself, respecting oneself, forgiving oneself, and seeing that each individual is a part of the whole. So the main thing is just to be in the moment, not be frightened at the moment, but be in the moment.
I see. And would you describe yourself as an individual or part of some kind of collective?
I do not mean, I see myself as both. It's neither either or. I see myself as an individual, but also as one with all. Expressing that one in the individual way.
For example, another being who's working with you, maybe one close to you. What are the differences between you two, and what is the same?
The same is we all come from love. The difference is how we are expressing that love.
I see. And how do you express that love differently?
Each situation creates a new way of expressing the love. There is numerous ways of expressing love. But when we speak of love, it's much different than when the ones on earth speak of love. A lot of times when they speak of love, they speak of possessing. Usually a lot of physical way of expressing love. That's a way of doing it, but we see love as just isness, beingness, of respect, of honor, of pure purity. There's no hidden agendas. There's nothing to gain from being a loving person. There's no goodies out of being in love with someone. You're just in love, and you receive that love back, but it isn't something you go after. It just is.
And why do we have fear that blocks us?
The reason why fear exists on your planet is there is this duality. Fear of one conquering of the other. Fear of lack of things. Fear of survival. When you realize that it has nothing to do with living an eternal life, you don't need to worry about keeping the physical form alive. When you realize that you're immortal, then what is there to fear? But when someone's in the mode of survival, of trying to also receive love from outside of themselves, then you have a fear of losing your love from others, and also fear of losing the physical form. We here in this reality don't seek love outside of ourselves. We are love. We are the manifestation of love. That's all we are. And in that, we do not fight or see someone as a threat. We see existence as us, a blessing.
I see. This being that you are now, would you describe yourself as being in spirit?
Yes.
Okay. And
but we need to clarify that. Okay. We are of another dimension.
Right.
I am speaking from another dimension. So all is a spirit. We just see a higher level of being in that space of being in spirit.
All right. So in Michael Newton's books, he talks about when souls go to spirit, some of them, if they're advanced enough, they can be creator beings.
Yes.
Where they create physical worlds.
Yes.
They work on harmonizing the physical beings, which is what you seem to be doing now.
Yes.
Is this the same?
Yes.
Okay.
That is a great thing that being did by writing and experimenting with what you're talking about. Michael Newton is a very high being. He has hidden his highness, or I should say, he has hidden the advancement of his soul so that people would not be so skeptical, and yet they still are skeptical, but he can speak in the language of the people he is wanting to receive the information.
He started as a very mainstream scientist,
Yes.
I guess, a therapist, hypnotherapist.
This is true.
And now that he has transitioned, what is he doing now?
He is part of our group. He is bringing so much love to Earth. He is still doing his work in a different way.
What is he doing?
He is working with others who wish to continue his work that he was doing on Earth.
If it's possible, can we get a message from Dr. Newton today, or the soul of Dr. Newton?
You can ask a question.
Can we get advice for these sessions and the type of work we'll be doing related to this stuff? Some advice for the future for us, Devin and I?
What is important is acknowledging the message that we have been sending you. And earlier in the conversation today, when you were speaking to each other, you mentioned about the message you got in a symbolic way, and you understood it.
The barbecue?
The barbecue.
Okay.
That is the way that we send you messages.
So we'll get updates.
We'll get updates to you. You have a big task ahead of you. And there's been some resistance, at least on Devin's part, because of not wanting to be in the public eye. But let you know that will be changing, that you will be receiving information that is not just for you, and you recognize that, and you realize that this is for humanity. You have a very, very huge task ahead of you, because the curtain is rising. And when we say the curtain is rising, we're saying that all the things that have been hidden from humanity, that humanity has done unto itself, is being slowly, at this point, being revealed. If you look at the alternative news media, you start to see that there is so much information coming out. Some people do not believe it, and some of it should not be believed. But there is tremendous information coming out. In the next few months, the information will come out quite quickly. It will shake the people. It will make them uncomfortable, fearful. And we will continue to send music, the sound, the vibrations. It will change. The music or the vibration we send will change, because it needs to change to match what is happening on Earth. Did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. Would you say that David Wilcock is playing a central role in revealing the truth of what's been hidden from the way the world is run?
Yes.
And how would you describe his role in the transition for Earth?
David Wilcock has put his life at stake, but he also understands that he is well protected. He's being protected by sources unknown to people. But we say this about David Wilcock. You do not take him lightly. Do not take him in a way that dismisses him. He has people around him who are very knowledgeable about the hidden secrets that's been kept from humanity. He has what he calls insiders, which means he has people giving him information from the beings who are trying to release the dark energy, what he calls the deep state. He's trying to reveal the deep state. That term, deep state, is becoming well known. If people just listen to even talk shows, they're starting to use the word deep state. People need to check out, what does that mean? Why does that word keep popping up? And why is it becoming more and more used? The other term is called the alliance. What is the alliance? People need to check it out. This all information is coming through many different channels, but David Wilcock has been the most noticed at this point.
I see. It seems that Wilcock is playing a similar role to the role that was played by Edgar Cayce. Is this more than a coincidence? Is that the same soul reincarnating?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, and can you tell us about the plan for that soul, for the life of David Wilcock, besides the things you've already shared?
That is sufficient at this time.
Right.
He will continue to reveal more information. He wants what he calls the full the full knowledge of what is happening out, to show what the deep state is all about. He also knows that the deep state is going to have people that we need to protect in one way, because they'll be the ones who will reveal what has been happening. They will say, I wish we had done what we've been doing. And I will tell you what we've been doing, and I regret to be a part of it. It is them telling us the truth that will help reveal the whole thing, so that it will all come out. Not just part of it, but we're planning it for all to be exposed, all the darkness, so that your planet will be the one that I've been describing, that I am now speaking from, full of love and oneness and beauty and harmony. Mm-hmm.
And if we succeed in this transition in a positive way, let's say in 100 years, how will society be different in terms of how we use technology, the way the government is run? Let me start with those two issues, the technology and government.
The government will not be where the people in charge are using it for selfish reasons. They will not be making laws to help themselves and their friends. It will be where everyone is treated equally. that the economical system will change so that it is not so one-sided. You will see that when you talk about education, it will not be as it is now. It won't be just talking about getting beautiful jobs and understanding how to manipulate life, but the education will be more of who are you? What are you here to do? How can you help each other? How can you provide a world of beauty? How can you manifest instantly? It won't be like you know it is now. It is, in this educational system on earth, it's almost dealing with survival, of being able to provide beautiful things and working hard to get those beautiful things. That will change. So it won't just be government that will change. The government will change so that things will be more in harmony with each other. They will teach harmony, balance, and really more in the spiritual realm and less religious realm. Religion is very controlling. Spirituality is very expansive and eternal expansion.
Can you tell me how will we use technology in the same? I was asking before about 100 years in the future. Mm-hmm. How will the use of technology be different?
It will be quite different because you will start to see that you use technology not to hurt anything like it is now. It's like many things are being hurt on earth through technology. And we won't go into any details of that, but we will say that the technology will be very aware that it will help all of existence. The technology will also allow humans to travel beyond your planet and go to vast realities and spread your knowledge and understanding to other planets who need your understanding. It may take more than 100 years to do what the last couple sentences I've just said, to go to other planets to help them evolve. But that's eventually what you will be doing. As we are helping you, you will help other societies. Then you will see that Earth isn't just a planet unto itself, but it is a connection to all of existence. And the more you sing harmony, balance, love, and peace, that goes out into the universe and to help planets that need to be helped. You will also know that you can create new, what you may want to call Earth-like planets, but you'll do it as a group. It will not be an individual thing. You will have people who will be responsible to organize and so forth, but it will be a group effort. It's like you want to create a world because of your love that will match the love that you're experiencing in your world on that new world. This is something that no one has ever shared that we are aware of.
Well, thank you for sharing. The next question I want to ask about the future is about art. It seems right now that music and fiction and movies are becoming, they're really just deteriorating, just becoming very more and more shallow and superficial. How is this going to change if we move to a more positive future?
First of all, the music will change. And if you're aware, there is music being created at this point that actually is trying to illuminate what is actually happening here on Earth. The fighting between what you call the light and the dark, or the dark side and the alliance. You have to look very closely to find out about this. It's kind of a hidden thing, but there is music being created to bring out awareness. What will be happening is the music will change and the vibrations will change, and there'll be more dancing, there'll be more loving. Films won't be like it is now. And in the midst of all the films that have been created, there is some very interesting movies that are actually revealing some truths. But you have to be aware. You have to be awake to see what is being revealed in the movies. They have some very important messages to humanity. But the movies will change quite drastically. You won't consider them as movies. You will see them in a different way. But it will all change to a higher vibration. As the people change their vibration, the art will reflect that vibration.
I see. The problem for most people, when people like David Wilcock talk about the changes that need to happen, is that some of it is just so strange and just extreme, just very difficult to believe, such as like all the human trafficking and the Illuminati. What do you have to say about all this strangeness? People just find it all so incredible.
It is becoming, people are becoming to be aware that it's coming out quite, when you just have one little bomb go off, it's not so noticeable. But when you have all this information coming out, like a fireworks that is going boom, 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 boom.
You mean like multiple insiders?
Not only that, but the information. And it's just like this thing that happened in Florida with the, I believe it was Florida, with the head of the owner of the football team. That came to the surface. Things like that are happening. You saw the Me Too movement. It's exploding. It's like, it was like a little firecracker, now it has become a big explosion. So much is happening. People are saying, wait a minute, we need to wake up. There's something more going on. So it's starting, as I said earlier, very slowly. But as time goes on, it's speeding up. It's speeding up. What happened about this, the sexual thing that happened in Florida, sex trafficking, it's like that was a wake-up call to humanity to look, this is not strange, this is not unusual, this is something that's going on. There is people being enslaved in your own country and perhaps your own backyard. You need to be aware of this. It's a wake-up call. There's been many wake-up calls, and the wake-up calls are going to get stronger and stronger until no one can deny what is happening. Some people will still deny it, but it doesn't. That will not stop. It will continue to expand. More information will continue to come out and revealed until people cannot hide in their head in the sand that you guys say down here on Earth.
Hide with our heads and put our heads in the sand.
Yeah.
Let's move now to the more extreme side of the information coming out. Some of the information that people struggle with the most.
Mm-hmm.
Corey Good talks about the blue avians.
Yes.
And they're here to help humanity
yes.
progress.
Yeah.
What is their role? What is their function?
They are sending so much love as well. They are here. They are among you. And they are trying to keep it so it will not, this whole revolution, so to speak, will not get out of hand. They're here to provide as peaceful a way as possible for the transition, for the darkness to be revealed without creating chaos. It may not be complete. What I mean by that, there may still be chaos, but for their help, it will keep it from being totally destructive, so that you will not totally destroy yourselves. They have a huge, huge part in this whole transition.
Well, how do they help us?
Behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes doing what?
They're making sure that things like nuclear weapons will not, is being neutralized, for example. That there's certain things that have been placed in different parts of the world that will cause chaos if it happens, and they're stopping that from happening. Explosions, for example, bombs going off. They're making sure that without interfering with free will, it's tricky. But they're trying to prevent deep destruction as much as possible without affecting free will. It's not an easy task that they have.